situation once again. Today I was going through my freezer, and when I cook pork shoulder, and sometimes there's that big chunk of fat, I always cut that out, and then I put it in a Ziploc bag and I put it in the freezer. I put it in the freezer. If I ever want to make trijemsbranks, I always have some. So I was going through my freezer because I got a bunch of bananas. I'm going to make some banana bread, and I found some of the fat, and I'm going to make some trijemsbranks, and I'm going to make some bread and put trijemsbranks in it. So that's what I have here. In here I have that fat from the trijemsbranks, and I'm going to put a little bit of water and some salt. You want to salt these trijemsbranks. Yeah, so I always save, I put a teaspoon and a half. I always save that fat, and then when I want some trijemsbranks, I just make it in a little bit at a time. So I'm going to put here about maybe 3/4 of a cup of water. And I'm going to let this render here, and then I'm going to start on the bread. And then what I'm going to do is, when this is rendered, I'm going to put this inside of the bread. Yep. We'll see what ingenuity I come up with. My mom used to do it with cornbread, but I'm going to make regular bread. So this is going to be here, and then I'll come back. Okay, friends, here's my trijemsbranks. Instead of doing them in the stove, I tried something different. I did them in the oven. They're a lot more chewy, not as dry, and more evenly. So if you want to put them in the oven. I had them at 450 until they get to the consistency that I want. You hear that crunch? So good. So now we're going to make the bread. And I'm going to put that inside the bread. But anyway. So I'm going to make it in my mixer. I'm only going to make 4 cups. I have 2 cups of warm milk. This is a different recipe of bread than my normal bread. So you want warm milk, you don't want hot. In here I have a tablespoon of yeast and a teaspoon of sugar. And we're gonna add that, and I'm gonna mix it a little bit, and until that yeast start blooming. So okay, so I'm gonna let that. Meanwhile, I'm gonna crack the eggs. I have 2 whole eggs. Like I said, this is a different recipe for bread than my regular recipe. And my mom used to make this kind of stuff, but she used to use cornbread. And I'm going to do it differently. Also, you can substitute if you wanted to go healthier. It depends what you're looking for. Are you looking for flavor, or are you looking for healthy? I like healthy, but now I'm looking for flavor. I have 1/4 of a cup of the fat that rendered from this. That's in there. So I'm going to add that with my milk. And I'm going to beat a little bit to break those egg yolks. I mean, my mom used to make concoctions all the time. Sometimes I don't like to stay with the same thing all the time, the same recipe. I like to try different things. Okay, so I'm gonna let this bloom a little bit more, and then we're gonna start the bread. Okay friends, it's been a few minutes and my yeast is start blooming. So now I'm gonna put my eggs and my oil or the fat from the whatever you use. I have a teaspoon of salt. You don't want to put too much salt because of these already have salt. So, and I'm gonna try dump all the flour in there. Of course, never fails. Always end up making a mess. Are you guys the same way? Sometimes I think, what is wrong with me? Don't I know how to aim at the right place? Anyway, so now I'm gonna mix all this and incorporate all that flour, that milk, and all this again also depends the flour, the weather. It's all gonna be affect that. You might have to add a little bit more milk. I'll have to add a little bit more flour. So I'm gonna increase. I don't want flour all over me, but so I'm gonna incorporate all this, and then when it's all mixed well, I'll come and tell you. I'm gonna add another half a cup of flour, just because I feel it's a little wet. It needs to be more tidy. Ah! Never fails. Okay friends, my bread is almost there, so I'm gonna grab some of the smaller pieces and I'm gonna add it in there and let the mixer mix everything. And then I'll save some for when I have to roll the dough. Okay? Oh my God, I can't help myself. Hold on to your mixer when you're mixing with the dough, this dough, because your mixer will move. See, the dough is a little softer. And I put some oil in this bowl, and I'm gonna put this dough in there. I'm getting my hands wet with the oil so that the dough don't stick. Should smell in this house today. You know, there's days that you plan something and things just seem never to fall into place. Well, today's one of those. I was doing my TORRESMOS on my stove. This is a very old stove. And all of a sudden, the stove just popped. So, and to do my TORRESMOS in the oven, which it worked fine. And actually, they look beautiful. And I didn't have to worry about checking the TORRESMOS. It's one of those things. And it feels like this today. See? That's how you want it. It's a soft dough, but it's not too soft. So I'm going to cover with a towel and let this rise here in a warm place. And then we'll go next. My bread is double in size. So now we're going to shape to put our TORRESMOS. Oh, it looks beautiful. Now you decide what you want to do. If you want to make loaves, if you want to make individual ones. I'm going to make baguettes. Like a baguette. Put some flour so it doesn't stick. Rolling pin. And you decide what size, how big you want it. Okay. And then you're going to grab some of your TORRESMOS. I chopped them a little bit smaller. And you're going to spread them out throughout. Okay? And then you're going to roll your baguette. This is rolling a roll of goodness. Okay? Make sure you seal these ends. And you can press it. You can shape these pointed if you want to look more like a baguette. And here's my first one. Lengthwise. Okay. So anyway, so my day started just good. I was gonna make the bread. I put my bread on the stove and the stove pops. So now my stove's not working. So I did these in the oven and they came out good. So we're remodeling the kitchen next month, so it'll be just in time. Get new stove, new ovens. So anyway, imagine having this bread when it comes out with a cup of tea. Can't wait. Like I said, my mom used to do this with cornbread. It was cornbread she used to do it. Never with this bread. But why not? Okay. Here's my first one. It's gonna be behind me and it's gonna rise again. So we're gonna let that rise for maybe another half hour. I'm preheating my oven to 375, 400 because it's my oven. Yours, I would say, stay within 350 to 375. Okay. Can make these a nice for a sandwich too. If you make them smaller, like this one's gonna be smaller. So anyway, and I'm stuck in the house today because we have painters outside. They're painting the house. So I gotta keep going today, baking and doing whatever I can because I can't leave. Not a problem for me. We'll see what else we can come up and do today. There's a few recipes that I've been wanting to get it done, so this is one of them. All right, I'm gonna try not to take a lot of that fat that's in the bottom, but take as much meat of those torresmos. You know, and if you have torresmos, what we call torresmos vinhedais, you can do the same thing. You make bread and then just put it in there. Doesn't have to be, I mean, I used the torresmos brancos because I was trying to get rid of that stuff out of my freezer. I'm trying to clean up the freezer. So, and here it is. Here it is. 2 more. So it give me 4 little loaves. So I'm gonna leave this back here. I'm gonna cover with a towel and wait for half an hour, and then I'm gonna bake it, and then I'll show you. Here it is, friend. My bread is ready for the oven, and I have 1 egg with beaten with some water, and I'm gonna give an egg wash my bread. Here's my next one. I'm gonna wait to put in the oven. All right, friends, I took my bread out of the oven, and look, here it is, my bread. Look how beautiful these look. And I already cut it into 1, and here it is, the torresmos, and you pull it apart. It's kind of chewy in the outside and soft in the inside. And here's an idea that I took from my mom's recipe. My mom used to do this with the cornbread, and I used the same idea and did into this this bread. This particular bread, I did it this way, but you don't have to. You can make it into the regular bread that you make. I think this one, it kind of leaves it a little bit just more rich. It's very soft inside, and this would be ideal to make sandwich. You know, you can slice this and make a sandwich with it. But yeah. So here it is, another genius of my idea, bread with torresmos. And it is just delicious. So anyway, give it a try. I will leave the recipe on the description. I will write in Portuguese and in English. So for those that do not understand, they can follow the recipe. They'll have the recipe to follow. So, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. And give me some thumbs up. Give me feedback. And until next time, let's get cooking. Have a good day.